Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Brian Crazy. You're watching my brand, that from Brand of Wrestling, and entertainment here on YouTube.com and the World Wide Web. Since 2010, proudly providing you with the wrestling news, reviews, rumors, insights that you're going to custom to. And you saw the title of this video. I am back with my quick thoughts on tonight's edition of TNA Impact Wrestling. Now, I have to apologize to you guys if you guys haven't caught the updates in the last few days. I've been really sick. I ended up coming down with a sinus infection right after I ended up breaking my finger. And when I saw the doctor ended up putting me on some real strong antibiotic to fight bone, blood, and skin infections. And it's just wreaking havoc with my system. Between the sinus infection, this medication making me sick to my stomach, I've just really been laying low. That's why you haven't seen a lot of uploads out of me. But I really enjoyed Impact Wrestling tonight. There was a couple major happenings on tonight's show. We have a new Knockouts champion in Mickie James. Velvet Sky was injured, but she wanted to compete anyway. Mickie James ended up picking up the title, and I really wonder what the future brings for these two superstars. I wonder if Velvet's going to feel bitter and end up turning heel. There was a lot of talks that they may potentially turn Mickie heel. So I'm curious how this is going to play out in the weeks before the Slammiversary pay-per-view. Also, James Storm was looking for a tag team partner. Several people came out tonight, including Shark Boy and Robbie E. But, surprisingly enough, the last man you would have thought of, Gunner, ends up showing up. Ends up clearing house, ends up helping out James Storm, and James Storm chooses him to be his partner in that huge match involving 4 teams at Slammiversary. Also, Brooke Hogan starts off the night. She comes out after Sting and Hulk Hogan are in the ring, and she says it's all her fault. She feels horrible about, trusting Bully Ray and convincing them to trust Bully Ray. And she feels like it's, all her fault, and she wants to give up her executive of the Knockouts position. She wants to, give up that position, and she feels like if she does that, maybe she can start to redeem herself. Now, then Bully Ray comes out, and he's like, I still love you. And I don't know if he's doing this just to screw with her, just to, further, just screw with her like he screwed with her the whole time, or is he really serious? Of course, I know this is all work, guys, but in the storyline, is he serious? Is he trying to rope her in? Could we see Brooke potentially end up screwing Sting at Slammiversary and allowing Bully to retain the title? She turns heel, joins the Aces and Eights, turns against her father for the love of her, storyline husband. I mean, this could be a really interesting development, and I'm really curious how this is going to play out over the next few weeks and next few months. And the biggest thing of the night, AJ Styles. The whole night focused around, is AJ going to join the Aces and Eights? What is he going to do? Over the last few weeks, we've seen the Aces and Eights make a lot of overtures towards AJ Styles, and he's been pretty silent, but he seemed to show up in the right place at the right time. Every time one of AJ's adversaries gets beat down, he just happens to be there. So tonight, he's in the ring with the Aces and Eights. He ends up pounding a beer. He ends up putting on the colors. He puts on the vest. They end up bringing Kurt Angle down to the ring. After Angle came down onto the ramp trying to talk sense into AJ Styles, he's beat down. He's brought into the ring, and AJ ends up taking him out. He ends up dumping him out of the ring, and when the Aces and Eights go to pose, they turn their back on Styles, and Styles ends up boom, 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 clocking him with the hammer. Totally unexpected. You totally thought that AJ was part of this group. Total swerve. And those, I love swerves in professional wrestling. They don't need to be every 5 minutes like in the Attitude Era. But when you have a good swerve that nobody's expecting, I really like those. And the best storylines this day and age, and have been for the last 10 to 15 years, aren't wrestling angles. The wrestling angles have been done and done and done. And some great storylines, soon as they turn them into a wrestling angle, it ruins them. The Nexus, the Shield, even though I still like the Shield, don't get me wrong. But when they started, they pop out of the crowd out of nowhere, but their entrance music hits at the same time. I mean, that's when you start to turn things into wrestling angles. The best angles are the ones that could happen in real life. We know it's a scripted show. The internet has allowed us to know that. Kayfabe has been broken. But when you, as a wrestling fan, you go, well, that's a scripted show, but was that supposed to happen? Those are the moments that I love. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a swerve every 5 minutes, but little swerves here and there really makes for an interesting product. It keeps the fans on the edge of their seat. So we have AJ turn his back on the Aces and Eights. He turned his back on TNA. He's on nobody's side. He's a loner. And this is interesting. I want to see how this plays out. But in the same right, I would have almost liked a storyline where AJ, secretly was in with Hogan. He was in with Team TNA. And this whole time, he was infiltrating the Aces and Eights. He was going to end up joining this organization and then help destroy it from within. I thought that would have been a really interesting angle, but, the kibosh was put in that tonight. Now AJ Styles walks alone, and what is next for AJ? And this all started last year. This all started when he felt inadequate, when he felt like he couldn't beat Christopher Daniels, and now it's just turned into the 6-month downward spiral, and he's not even eligible to try to go for the world title again into Bound for Glory. So I'm really curious, Slammiversary is going to be a huge milestone, but the weeks and months after Slammiversary, going into Bound for Glory 2013, I think is going to be a really, really interesting time in TNA wrestling. I want to know your guys' thoughts. I want to know your guys' feedback. I want you to drop it below. I hope you enjoyed some of my quick thoughts on tonight's episode of Impact Wrestling. Like I said, guys, I apologize that I could not, do a full review tonight. I just feel absolutely horrible, but I did want to get some thoughts up for you guys. For the Effin' Brand, I'm Brian Crazy. Have a great night.